Part 1. The Psychological Shock and the Success Paradox. Have you ever wondered why two people starting from the exact same point with the same amount of capital can end up in completely different worlds after 5 years? Why one achieves total financial freedom while the other remains trapped in a never-ending cycle of debt? Imagine two friends graduating at the top of their class. The first uses their very first paycheck to reward themselves with the latest iPhone and a luxury vacation. The second chooses to keep their old phone, stays in a modest apartment, and disciplinedly pours 30% of their income into the stock market. Fast forward 5 years, while the first is exhausted by credit card bills and the pressure to get promoted just to maintain a glamorous facade. The second has already tasted true freedom. This difference doesn't lie in IQ or luck. It lies in a core ability that has been stolen from us by this world of constant temptation, the power of delayed gratification. We live in an era of instant dopamine, where everything from TikTok algorithms to flash sales acts as invisible strings pulling your brain, demanding that you click, buy, and take profit immediately. But the bitter truth is this: those who cannot master their impulses are essentially working to enrich the impulses of others. Welcome to the Keen Blueprint. I'm not here to give you a moral lecture. I'm here to help you dissect the source code of success. Science has proven that impulse control is a more accurate predictor of success than degrees or IQ. In this video, I will share the psychological blueprint to help you reprogram your brain and officially join the ranks of the 5% who lead the long-term game. Are you ready to upgrade your operating system? Let's begin with a marshmallow experiment that fundamentally changed how we view human destiny.
Part 2. The Marshmallow Test. Predicting the future from a single treat. The story begins in 1960 at Stanford University, when Professor Walter Mischel conducted an experiment so simple it was almost strange. He placed a child in a room with a single marshmallow and offered a deal. If you wait until I come back without eating this, you get 2. If you eat it now, you only get 1. It seemed like a choice for children, but it was actually the ultimate test of fate. 40 years later, the results were staggering. The children who could wait those 15 minutes grew up to have higher SAT scores, healthier BMIs, and most importantly, significantly higher net worth than the other group. That marshmallow is a symbol for every temptation in your adult life, from a luxury holiday you can't yet afford to an all-in crypto gamble because the crowd is hype, or simply choosing laziness over learning a new high-income skill. The question here isn't whether you like the treat, it's whether you have the mental fortitude to sit still for 15 minutes while the rest of the world is screaming to eat right now. To understand why sitting still is so difficult, we need to look deep inside the control center beneath our skulls. Part 3. The Inner War. The Caveman versus the Architect. Why do we know credit card debt is foolish and buying the top is dangerous, yet we do it anyway? It's because an internal civil war is raging inside you between two entities, separated by millions of years of evolution. First, we have the limbic system. I call him the caveman. He is the oldest part of the brain, concerned only with immediate survival and hypersensitive to dopamine. In investing, he is the source of FOMO. When he sees green candles and everyone bragging about gains, he screams in your ear to get in now, because to him, tomorrow is a luxury that doesn't exist. On the other side is the prefrontal cortex, the architect, sitting right behind your forehead. This is the youngest part of the brain, the part that does the math, plans 10 years ahead, and understands the power of compound interest. The architect knows that true wealth is the result of planting a tree and patiently waiting for it to grow, rather than stealing green fruit to eat today. However, every time you see a 50% discount or a hot stock, the caveman floods your brain with dopamine, blinding the architect and turning your investing into a dopamine addiction. The greatest challenge comes when the market crashes. In those moments, the caveman pumps your system with stress hormones, paralyzing the architect and forcing you into a panic cell instinct. You flee at the bottom just to end the immediate discomfort, despite knowing it's a long-term disaster. The winner in the market isn't the one with the fastest computer. It's the one who knows how to starve the caveman and give the architect full executive power. So, how do we make that a reality? The secret lies in building barriers against impulsivity. Part 4. Dopamine Detox. Strategies and automated wealth. Theory is one thing, but how do you keep your money when the caveman is screaming? The secret is creating psychological friction. If you can shop or place a trade with a single tap, you've already lost. Start with the first strategy, the 72-hour rule. Every time you're tempted to buy a luxury item or jump into a hyped project, force yourself to wait exactly 3 days for your dopamine levels to cool down. Only then will the architect be sober enough to ask, does this actually help my assets grow? Usually, the answer is no. Next, apply the strategy of automated discipline. Never test your willpower. It is a finite resource. Instead, set up an automated DCA, dollar cost averaging system. As soon as your paycheck arrives, let the system automatically move a portion into your investment fund before the caveman even sees it. You cannot spend money you do not see. Finally, don't forget the strategy of delayed rewards. The caveman is stubborn. If you starve him completely for too long, he will rebel and sabotage your plans. Compromise smartly by giving him small rewards when you hit major long-term financial milestones. This is the only way to sustain this marathon. In investing, the most patient person harvests the most profit from the most impulsive ones. When you master your dopamine cravings, you aren't just saving money, you are mastering your life. But to maintain this control sustainably, we need daily strength training for the mind. Part 5. Willpower Training. Gym workouts for the architect. Many people mistake willpower for a gift you're born with, but psychology confirms it's like a muscle. If you don't train it, it withers. If you overexert it all at once, it collapses. The secret lies in daily micro workouts. The first exercise is the 10-minute rule. Every time you feel a powerful urge to spend money or scroll through social media, tell yourself, I will do it, but in 10 minutes. That gap is the golden window for the architect to regain control. The second exercise is thinking in final numbers. Instead of looking at the price tag, get into the habit of calculating the opportunity cost. A fancy dinner today could be 10 shares of a high potential stock in 10 years. When you view the world through the lens of assets instead of expenses, your architect grows stronger every day. Finally, undergo an identity shift. Stop saying, I'm trying to save money, and start saying, I am a long-term investor. When you define yourself by your vision, your brain automatically aligns your behavior with that identity. You no longer feel like you are depriving yourself. Instead, you are actively choosing wealth. An investor cannot maintain discipline over $1 billion portfolio if they can't master a $100 receipt. These small daily drills are your combat training for the future tsunamis of the market. And once you have passed through this rigorous training, the reward waiting for you will be far greater than any treat. Part 6. The Reward for the Patient. You know, in Islamic culture, there is a holiday called Eid Mubarak. It is a festival of radiant joy, but it only arrives after a full month of fasting and rigorous self-discipline. Your life and your finances operate in the exact same way. Delayed gratification isn't self-torture. It is the preparation for a much larger festival of freedom in your future. When you say no to small temptations today, you are saying yes to absolute freedom tomorrow. If you feel the architect inside you is ready to take the wheel, hit like and subscribe so we can continue building a sharper financial blueprint together. Don't forget to leave a comment. I choose the wait if you are determined to train with me starting today. I am the Keen Blueprint, wishing you a sharp mind and a steady hand on your journey. I'll see you in the next video.